Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Soul. Oh, you want to just get those early morning yawns out, you know? Good vibes today. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning, and I wish you a good rest of your day. Today's episode, I wanted to talk about, this is a series I'm gonna do, actually. I'm gonna do, all my previous jobs and kind of put those into story perspectives. And my first job, I wouldn't even really count as a job. Basically, I worked for my mom, and I wouldn't really count that as a real job. But I thought it'd be a good intro to the series. So, throughout my entire childhood, my mom worked at art shows, basically where people put up a bunch of tents and sell their art project stuffs. Basically what she would do would be paintings. She would paint windows, stuff like that, and those would be or she would paint wine glasses, stuff like that. And so pretty much my entire childhood I helped her with this. I would set up the tents and the stuff that you would hang the windows on the walls. And that was hard work. And as a kid, my mom would just give me $20 for that. And I would buy a Dragon Ball Z box set. That was basically what I did. And what eventually that led up to was her owning a store. Basically, it was one of those small little shopping malls where a bunch of people will buy out a little room and sell stuff out of it. And so for a long period of time, my mom was a busy person and she couldn't operate the store from day to day, even though they encouraged you, to sell your stuff in person and have a person at the register. So what my mom's solution was at for a while was to just drop me off at the beginning of the day, and I would work the register, and I would, at the age of 14, or how old was I? I would have been in 8th grade, so yeah, I want to say 14. I would run the shop. I would, try to convince people to buy stuff. I would, basically everything that that person would do, I did. I opened the shop, I closed the shop, and my mom was giving, obviously because I'm using my entire day to do this, she gave me a good amount of money at the time. I'm gonna have another Good Morning Soul talking about the summer of Pokemon, and that's basically a lot of what I did that day, was play Pokemon. And she didn't have a computer, but I'm sure, oh wait, no, did she have a computer? She might have had a laptop or something, where because I remember looking up stuff about Pokemon as I was playing it, but I don't think I was able to use it that much. Maybe it just had really terrible connection. But basically, that was it for that job. I opened the store, I did everything, and my mom would give me if I did that for a week, she'd throw me $50 or something, less or more depending. I'm kind of guessing at the money because I don't, this was years ago. But I remember a lot of the games I bought back then, Kingdom Hearts, 358 Days Over 2. A lot of those games that I bought, the money I got for was because I worked at this store. And I knew the other store owners in the area. They all knew me. It was a pretty chill place. I specifically just kind of remember the smells. I remember a lot of the stuff that was on the radio. I remember Katy Perry and the Hey Soul Sister. All of that shit was on the radio back then. I just remember that because we'd have a little radio set that would be in the background of the store. And I just remember having my DS's set up, just catching Pokemon all day, listening to bullshit ass radio songs, and that made up the bulk of what I did there. And it was not a hard job by any means. It was definitely a lot harder back in the day when I had to hustle and set up tents and drag shit around and carry shit. When I was too weak to carry shit. And just speaking to customers, obviously that was like one of the harder challenges because I was still pretty socially awkward back then, very introverted, and I would remember like just being like people would walk in, and I'd just be like, fucking buy shit, like I hated the idea at the end of every day, like whenever I had to be like, oh, we didn't sell anything, and then I would still like accept the money my mom gave me. Like that was always hard, but there was plenty of like really good days where like we'd make hundreds of dollars, and like business was good. Those were obviously days in the summer, and like I think the economy like was really good. Like I don't know if the economy is bad now. It's hard to say. I kind of just want it to be because Trump's in office, but anyway, that's basically it for the first job. Like, it wasn't that advanced of a job, but I do remember just a lot of fun memories there, and I remember just being like, I was putting everything into being a good salesman, despite the fact that I had never done that before, and despite the fact that I was 14 and probably shouldn't have been like in charge of a register. I do remember like whenever someone had like debit cards, I was like, fuck. Like, I hated doing that. I hated, like, because we didn't have, like, a real cash register that would, like, know how to do all that shit. Like, I had to, like, physically, like, I remember it was, like, this little machine that you had to, like, physically, like, move a thing around, and, like, you had to, like, click it, and all of that just to get that done. And, people would write checks and stuff like that. I don't know if people used checks like they did back then, but they were definitely a lot more popular back then. Maybe it's just rich white people who still use checks, because I don't know anyone else who uses them. And that definitely was like kind of like the market we were trying to go for, like uppity white people who like could afford to like throw $50 on a decoration piece that like they're probably barely gonna use. That definitely was like the people we were going for. But those people have money. Like, why wouldn't we want to get their business, right? But yeah, that was basically my first job. And the store, it closed down like after a while. Like, my mom threw a lot of her artwork in a lot of these kinds of stores. And most of these stores you don't need to even be there, like selling the shit personally. So they would, you just bring it to the front of the store, like in the or the front of the shopping mall or whatever. So that was kind of how she was making money for a long period of time. And the store was kind of unnecessary, the higher rent for that kind of place. And yeah, that's basically it for my first job, and I was putting that on my first couple resumes just cuz at least I could say I worked with a register and stuff like that. But at the same time, I didn't want to say my mom was my boss. So nowadays, obviously, I wouldn't put that on a job application. But some people might consider it my first job. I wouldn't though. So that was it for today's episode of Good Morning Soul. I wish you guys a happy rest of your day, and with that, I leave you.